Pinball actually started in the 1700s in France. It was a game similar to pool. Playfield looked just like these, but a bunch of nails in it, and you shot the ball and it bounced around. In the 30s, more money was bet on pinball than was bet on horse racing or any other sporting event in the United States. And most of them were in a bar, and they were small, about that big. They set them up on a bar. The owner could set whatever prizes he wanted, including money. So that's when they said, oh no, this is gambling, get rid of it. In 1947, they came out with flippers, and what we now know as pinball, that's when that started. Most of the big cities still had a ban up through the 70s. Okay? And then in 76, New York lifted their ban. There was a guy named Roger Sharp went into the city council and said, it's a game of skill. Set up a pinball machine, said, I'm going to pull the plunger back, the ball's going to do this, bounce here, bounce there, and you'll see it. And he did it. Years later, he said, how lucky was I that it actually did what it's supposed to. But still, in most big cities, you cannot win a game on a pinball machine. Still considered gambling. So they have what they call add-a-ball games. If you look at some of our games here, at the bottom of the back glass, it'll say ball 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When you hit a certain score, you get another ball. So you can just keep playing, but you can't win a game, it's gambling. About 7 years ago, our owner and his brothers collected pinball. They loved them since they were a kid. And he kept on collecting, and he kept on collecting. And when he got to like 80 machines, I need a bigger boat. So he opened up on Cookman Avenue in the basement of another store for a while. And he kept on buying. And that's when he came here about 5 years ago. We're now up to 615, 620 games out here. Pinball almost exclusively was made in the Chicago area. Williams, Bally, Stern, Gottlieb, which was the main one, they were all based out of there. And most of the big cities had them, but it never really filtered out into the mainstream except in amusement areas. So Chicago was the hub of manufacturing, with Gottlieb, the main manufacturer. And most of the big cities had it, and then it would go wherever there was an entertainment value, on the Jersey Shore, down in Virginia Beach, down in that area, Florida, out on the West Coast, especially California. So wherever there was an amusement section, people would go for their vacations, that's where they would pop up. That 3-month period in New Jersey when it's the summertime, everybody came down the shore from Keensburg all the way down to Cape May. Had to have something to do. So a lot of arcades opened up. And back in the day, when I was a kid in the 50s, every candy store, grocery store, whatever, had pinball machines in it. You know, nickel a pop, and you split the money with the owner of the machines, and he maintained them, and you got a little bit of money out of it. There's a whole bunch of different eras from machines. We have an Evel Knievel machine on the other side. It's what's called an EM, an electromechanical. The scoring in the head is done by separate scoring reels. Right when they started making that, they came out with electric scoring, and they switched everything over. It's a lot easier to maintain, but that Evel Knievel, they only made 150 of that with that scoring, and they made 14,000 of them with the electrical, which is a big run. Normally 3,000 to 4,000 machines is about it. If you look at around the corner here, there's a game called Black Knight. It was the first game with a multi-level play field. Had an upper play field and a lower one. Down the back, we have one called Gorgar. It'll talk to you. That was the first talking machine. Well, the newest that we have is the Hobbit, which is around here. It's made by Jersey Jack Pinball in Lakewood, New Jersey. His first game was The Wizard of Oz, which we also have. Okay? We got number 2. It's a prototype right now. We're here to iron out the bugs for him, but he started shipping them, and it's a fun game. The oldest one we currently have is 1950, and that's called Knockout. Well, if you look at the 50s and 60s machines, and even through the 70s, you're going to see a lot of sexy women on. pinball was a male-dominated sport, if you want. So they appealed to the male, okay? If you go look at Captain Fantastic, some of the backglass art is interesting, to say the least. Even through the 80s and 90s, but then it started to change. Now you have things like The Simpsons and Sopranos and their theme. It's fun. You don't have to be good at it, you just have to have fun.